Recording in progress. Hey everyone, this is Lynn Hamilton, your lead instructor at Samson Properties, to bring you another exciting episode of Marketing Mastery. Now, in this session today, we are going to kind of jump in the mud puddle, if you would like to, with how to work with seniors and some definite things that you kind of want to take into consideration. Think about as you start working this specialty and this niche. So, as reference back to Jumpstart Session 4, we give you the list of 24 or 26 marketing pillars. We reference it to you have a car, it has four tires. You have those four tires inflated, and the car will go really fast. But if you have a flat, you can still get to where you're going. You're just going to slow down a little bit. The same thing if you think of it in terms of the chair you're sitting on. There's probably four legs on the chair that you are sitting on. And why? It's for balance and stability. So when you think about the marketing department of your business, it is always wise to have a little bit of diversity with who are your target market and who do you absolutely want to work with. So that being said, that is why we give you in Jumpstart Session 4 the whole list of 26 options, because you need to decide based on you which ones you can get excited over. And if it's not the seniors, it is first-time home buyers. Is it buyers in general, sellers in general? Then are you going to do home buyer workshops? Then when you're going to do open houses, what are the pillars that you want to embed and inflate in your real estate business to give you a good base in which to run off? For those that are new here with us, a reminder that Jumpstart is designed in 4 sessions to give you the foundation in which everything else gets built on and built off of. So I would encourage you, if you have not taken Jumpstart sessions 1, 2, 3, and 4, that is where you start. And of course, you can find it on my website, which is lynnhamilton.samsonproperties.net. I've done the Agent Resource Center for you, drop down box, the learning trails, and there they are in order for you. Now, yes, our Samson University is getting its little makeover done. In fact, I have a meeting next Friday with someone who's going to make sure that the learning trails are properly labeled in there so that agents can go that are with Samson can go directly into Cardinal Nest, directly over to Samson University, and get everything in order there as well. So yes, so both options are your resource, but my website is always up for you as well. All right, my friends. All right, so now let's talk about seniors. I don't care what age category you want to label that as. Some look at it as over 40, some over 50, some over 60, some over 70 and above. So it doesn't matter. But what is the takeaway? The takeaway with this group is more than likely they have had their dream house or a larger home. They're often, but not always, often ready to downsize. They want something a little bit smaller. They want something a little bit more easily managed. They may love the house, but hate the stairs. So that's a lot of times the definitive criteria. When we have created out postcards for, I'm going to say, the move down sellers, a lot of times the question is, do you still love the house, but those stairs and your knees are not getting along right now? That is a fun, good takeaway. So let's talk about the message. You can, with any component that is your target audience, you don't want to go for the bull or the target, you want to go for the bullseye. So you want to find those that fall into a similar category. And the question you want to stop and think about for your marketing message is, what is the sand in their shoes? What is the pain point that they may have or may be getting ready to have that's going to trigger them to make a move? Is it they're an empty nester? So in a marketing idea, you could create a postcard that had the little birds in the nest and them all flying out of the nest. Are they an empty nester? Do they not need all that square footage? That may be a bullseye message to that target. Another one is a flight of stairs or a beautiful staircase. Do you love the house? But yeah, your knees or your hip and those stairs are just not getting along right now. Again, that is their pain point. That is the tipping point that may cause them to go, yeah, my hip, my knees are about had it with the stairs. Now, they can slide down the banister. That is an option, but not always the best one. Another one that you could run with is a beautiful big yard and say, are you not having fun mowing this anymore? Do you need that big space? Do you want that big space? Are you just wanting to downsize and make life a little bit easier? Again, that is their pain point, their tipping point that may cause them to go, you got a point there. Yeah, honey, let's start talking about downsizing. We don't need the square footage. We don't need the big yard. We don't need the the big place the kids have all left. We just need one or two guest bedrooms so when they come back and visit. Again, you're in your marketing message, bullseye. Ask yourself, what is the pain point for this group that I'm wanting to go after? You only need 4 messages because you can repeat those messages in a postcard every month. There are also 1,000,001. I think I've counted. I think it was 1,000,001. I'm almost sure it was that number of free reports and articles that are out there about where do you start in downsizing. I've got some that I'm working on for you guys right now. So it addresses okay, so what do we do with all the stuff? There's a couple of books out that they're little, small brochures, and I'm so tempted to order them. But the title of the book is Nobody Wants Your Stuff. And sometimes they use another word other than stuff. Nobody wants it. So what are you going to do with it? So there's a lot out there. And again, if this is a niche that you're going to go after, let's work together to make sure that you have the free reports available on your website that's going to give them information or bonus information on how to downsize. I've got a couple right now that I put on my site just so you can see what it would look like. But it's, 7 tips for moving. What other information can you provide to that consumer to help them as they start and prepare for a move? It does not happen overnight, by the way. Oftentimes it is 3, 6, 9, or 12 months out that they need to start prepping and preparing before they actually list the property. So they may be thinking about this literally for months. And if you are not asking the right question, so tell me, does your home still meet your needs? Are you still loving it? They will tell you 3, 6, 9, 12 months out, it really doesn't anymore. And we're actually giving some thought into selling. Oh, okay. Just curiosity. What's the timeline that you're looking at? Is it like a year, 2 years out? What is it? They'll tell you and say, great, I have a library with some free reports in it that, again, a lot of it's common sense, but a lot of it's just that reminder because it's been several years since they've packed a house and moved. So they're going to need to start downsizing their stuff if they're going to a smaller property. So and again, that could take literally 3, 6, 9, 12 months of one room at a time, one piece of the puzzle at a time. What do we want to keep? What do we want to give to the kids? What do we want to donate? What do we just want to sell at a yard sale? What do we want to keep for the long term? And then what do we do with all this stuff? Now, in there are some fun options, and I'm working on this right now for you, of how to start deciding what you need to take with you. Then there's some ideas that we're going to have on a page or two of what to do with some of the family treasures. And one of the ones that an agent shared with me several years ago, and I absolutely loved it, was and again, in this case, the agent went above and beyond and helped the client take family photos and would, in great grandma's china, nobody wants. So they set up a formal table with all the china, just like everyone was getting ready to come in and sit down for Christmas dinner, took a picture of it. It was beautiful. They sold the china to someone who was going to use it and enjoy it, but they kept the memory and they kept the picture. And that picture was then added into either a photo album book, because you can do those online now, by the way. Remember back when we were in high school, you get your annual at the end of every year that had everything that had gone on, all the highlights of the year. Well, people are now starting to do that for their life. The highlights, and again, it's just in one book. They can carry that with them. It sits on the coffee table, it sits on a bookshelf. They can enjoy it anytime they want. That is one option. Another option, again, they took the pictures and they put them in a digital photo frame. You can still buy those. They've been around forever. They're not that expensive. And they just took and I think it went on a thumb drive or something. And the thumb drive was then put into the digital photo frame and it just ran. And the person could enjoy the memories, enjoy the pictures, but it wasn't the physical items weren't there cluttering up space. So those two are great ideas to share and pass on as well. Another component of working with seniors that I know is sometimes very delicate is, do they have a will and a trust? Now, I know we've got several states that are represented here, including the state of confusion. Each state can be a little bit different when it comes to wills and trusts. A will is to tell those that are staying on after you've passed where you want your stuff to go. The trust has to do with typically large investments, real estate, and other big money items. So it is always, always recommended that people remember that they need to talk to a legal professional to get what is best for them, whether it be a will, a trust, the both, just one, the other. Those components all need to be in place as well, along with the medical directives that come up. A girlfriend called me the other day, she's down in Florida. Well, she lives in Texas, but she went to Florida to visit her mom for the summer with the two kids. And mom's heart valve started acting up, so mom ended up in the hospital. Mom is not that old. I mean, I think she's 60, which is pretty young. But she had the heart valve done several years ago. Well, now it's starting to have some issues. And my friend was going, okay, Lynn, I know you've been through this, personally, professionally, and real estate wise. What are the other things that I need to be aware of? So we talked through, okay, worst case scenario, you need this, this, and this. Best case scenario, then all of those things can be terminated. But these are, we walked through variables, and I said a lot of it is just questions to ask to make sure that she has key things in place. When you get over a certain age bracket, you're getting closer to your finish line, and it is more important than ever to make sure that those things are in fact in place. You, as a real estate agent, do not give them legal advice. You do not give them accounting advice. You stay in your lane, but you point them in the direction of an attorney that does wills and trusts in their state or in their area. You point them in the direction of talking to their tax advisor, who will give them proper advice based off their entire package and component. But when it comes to the house, that's kind of where your expertise can be, and how to start deciding what stays, what goes. I will share another really cool idea with you. And again, if you ever need to use any of these, they're yours to run with. An agent up here in Maryland has done, estate liquidation for families for like 20 years herself. They found out that grandma needed to go to assisted living, but grandma had some family treasures that she didn't want to get rid of. One of them was a crocheted tablecloth that her mother had made by hand. And that was a family treasure. She didn't want to lose it. She didn't know what to do with it, but was not going to sell it or give it away. So my friend, Maryland real estate agent, said, "Hey, I've got a great idea. How about," and she says, "and I'll go do it." Went to, I want to say IKEA, bought a curtain rod that would cover her entire sliding glass window in her new room. She bought blackout curtains as the back layer. She got two different colors and brought them to let the lady decide what she wanted. When they were put up, with the lace tablecloth over the blackout curtains. So the blackout curtains protected the crocheted lace tablecloth. It still darkened the room for her, but she still got to enjoy this beautiful lace tablecloth that her mother had made and wanted to keep in the family. And it was able to be hung up without damaging it in any way. You could get the little clips that, hook on the rod. And she sent me a picture of it, and it was the most gorgeous window covering I had ever seen. And the fact that it was this lady's mother's tablecloth was the coolest thing ever. And it made her smile from ear to ear that she was able to keep that and take that with her as a memory. So again, be a little creative. Ask others what they have done. Collect those little ideas and create yourself your own little list of crazy things that can be done to save the cherished memories, or to recommend to the family they create the photo album. I have another friend in San Diego. Her dad just passed away, but dad was the cook of the house. She said that he has hundreds, if not thousands, of cookbooks, but the favorite ones were either handwritten or torn out of a magazine and put in a plastic protector sheet in a 3-ring binder. I said, "Oh my God, you know what you need to do with those is get those. Do not transcribe dad's handwriting. Leave it as it is. Scan it. Create your own family cookbook of dad's treasured recipes." And she's like, "Oh my God, that would be amazing." And so we were chatting a couple days later, and she says, "You know what would be super cool?" She says, "I can get a picture," because they had lots of pictures of when the family was at the dining room table having that meal. And she says, "I'll have the recipe and then the picture of the family there on the same page." And I said, "Oh my God, that is brilliant." So there you go. You don't have to do it yourself. You can just have that on your little list of ideas and recommend and suggest it to those that are looking to have something special for treasured memories to carry with them. And again, there's several family members. So it's okay. There's what, eight, I'm just going to make up the number. There's 6 kids, nieces and nephews. You get 20 copies done. It's going to cost you a few dollars, but you put it into the print on demand, order up the copies. They're only, a few bucks a copy, hardbound or paper bound, either one. And that is everyone's Christmas present. And she said, oh my word, they would love that. All right, so there you go. So be creative, be unique, ask other people what they're doing. And again, if this is a niche and a specialty you want to go down, have those resources and those ideas on your website. Have them available as a free packet, a free brochure. You can create mini packets with that kind of information and fun stuff in it. Okay. So how would you go about finding someone that may fall into that category? First off, always turn to your sphere of influence, the people that you already know, and ask them, one of the specialties I specialize in is helping to downsize. So is there someone you know that may fall into that category? They're going to tell you. It could be an aunt, an uncle, grandparents, even their own siblings. Ask, 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 ask. All right. If you then need to go to your MLS, you can put in within the search, public records. You can search for a property. Let's say you've got an area you want to specialize in. You can put the criteria in there. You can also put the criteria of land or property size. You can also put the criteria in there of who had actually bought the house 10, 15, or 20 years ago. Now, in some areas, your title company, all you do is tell them what you need, and they will do it for you in a heartbeat. Other areas, that's not quite how their title works. You may have to search it yourself, but that is definitely one way to develop a mailing target by going in and searching public records, or even search the MLS of what has sold 10, 15, or 20 years ago. Now, that being said, you may need to do a secondary search to make sure that that property is still with the original owner and hasn't been resold over the time. But again, you start doing a couple of those a day or 5 a week. Next thing you know, you got a mailing list of 100 or 200 homes that meet that criteria that you can start marketing to with the bullseye message of, still love the house, but those stairs, and your knees are not getting along. So think about where your niche and your specialty wants to be. Where do you find them? What is the pain point that you need to zero your message, your target marketing to? It's not throwing Jello on the wall and see what sticks. You're going to go for a special one. You're going to develop out your, I'm going to say, reference library of ideas and suggestions to help someone who is needing and ready to downsize. What do you do with the family treasures? And again, you can Google that nowadays. You can go to Chat GPT and ask that question. You can use Pinterest to go in and see what is already being offered there for ideas. So you create your own little resources, and then as you mail to that group of people, you tell them that you have a resource library available that they can either go to your website and get, or for the asking, free of charge, no obligation. Ask and I will send you my, I'm just going to make up a number, 12-page resource guide on how to downsize a bit. It can be whatever number of pages you want it to be. You can save it as a PDF once it's done and just email it to them. You can print it out and mail it to them. So you've got options and resources there as well. But those would be the things that will separate you from the crowd, that will allow you to be laser focused on a particular target with the particular message that aligns with the sand in their shoes, their pain point, and then you have the answer to those questions already prepped. So as you're prepping the mailing list, you're prepping your resources as well. So when your first mailer goes out and somebody responds, not a problem. You got it ready and you can mail it or email it to them. Okay. Now, I've seen some go as far as create a return postcard. If you want my free book, fill this out, mail it back to me, and I will send it off to you. You tell me whether you want it mailed or emailed to you, and I'll send it back to you. I've seen agents do that, and their introduction letter pain point goes into an envelope, or the postcard goes into an envelope with the return postcard coming back to you, where they've got to put their information on there and then specify that they want the booklet, they want it emailed to this address, or they want it mailed to this address. They stick a postage stamp on it and you get it back. So electronic is good, but not everybody in that, I'm going to say in that category or in that age bracket, they may still want the old school snail mail way. And there is nothing wrong with that. All right. Okay. So you've identified your target. You've identified the pain point. You've identified how you're going to reach out to them. You've identified who they are. You're going to start asking your SOI. You're going to create the free report or the little brochure. You're good. Make sure too that you've got some resources in your immediate footprint for a accountant and or more important, a legal attorney, that if they don't have a will or a trust prepared, they can talk to someone about the pros and cons of it. Okay? You know what? This isn't that complicated. This is actually very simple. Again, we just need to think who they are, where do I find them, what's their pain point, how can I solve the problem that they now have or will soon someday have. And an option, yes, is to sell the house. I would also check into, in your footprint, is there a company that does the stair lifts? Okay, they may love the house. They may not want to sell. They may want to leave it to family, but they just need help going up and down those stairs. A possibility is to investigate and look into whether the chairlift would work in their home or not. You know what? They may not even know that's an option. So when you're able to bring them the options, you stand out from the crowd and you become the advisor, their advocate, their consultant, their PPS, which, as you know, is the professional problem solver. And when the day comes that that home no longer meets their needs and they need to sell, you have stayed top of mind because you've brought them information by the booklets, the reports, the whatever of value that's going to help them solve the problem or problems they have. And bingo, when the time comes, you get the listing, you get them moved and settled, not you physically doing it, but you get my point. And then they tell their friends and family. All right. If you are in a 55 or older community, find out if you can in the rec area or the common area, can you do some quick classes on that? Is that possible? Is that feasible? Is there a newsletter that goes out to that community that you can get an ad in or place an article in to get your name out there and known as well? So don't overlook those things as a way to spread your wings and get your name out there as someone who can help with options. Okay. All right. So hopefully this has been helpful. We're going to wind this down right now. Here's the takeaway. Be the Uncola. Be unique. Be creative. Think outside the box. It is okay as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral. You can, with the help of ChatGPT, create some beautiful flyer information. You can create some amazing postcards and messages. Double check, proof everything that comes out of ChatGPT because sometimes there's errors in it or a misspell or an extra number or a digit put in there, but it can be a great tool and a great resource for you as well. If you've got a website, know how to customize it and find out if you can customize it. If not, snail mail is not a bad option as well. All right, my friends, go be wonderful. Go be awesome. Go be the PPS. Go let them know that you do have an answer to where their up and coming problem is going to lie. I hope this has been helpful for you. Give me a thumbs up if it has. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We are going to be downloading this and adding it onto my website. I see some boom. Yes, there's lots of thumbs going up. I'm going to add it to my website as a download. I will also put together, that'll come later, the handouts to go with it, but this will at least be on replay for you. And when you listen to it, make sure you hit like and subscribe so when the next one or anything else gets posted, you get notified. And with that, my friends, go be proud of the industry that you are in. Raise your head high and be there to take care of the problems that pop up. Because remember, you are the PPS. All right, class dismissed. I will see you all in our next class. Bye for now. Good to see you all. Okay, bye-bye.